Pickaxe.
Join us at patreon.com/castparty for a whole plethora of exclusive goodies. 5 days early access to every Cast Party episode, ad-free episodes, behind-the-scenes info, exclusive bonus monthly one-shots, access to our community Discord where you can listen along with the cast to every new episode, all for less than the price of a single cup of coffee per month. Aren't convinced? Try us out for free. 7 days free to check out the content that we offer only exclusively on our Patreon. Patreon.com/castparty. Support your favorite D&D podcast, all while getting some awesome perks. Patreon.com/castparty. See you there, cast and crew.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cast Party. My name is Colin McManus, and I will be your director for today. I am joined by Ryan McManus.
Ryan McManus playing Bjorg Jorgensen, the Jewel of Debauchery.
Anna Brisbane.
Lenore DeVere, Chaos, very excited to push all the buttons.
Nigel Deacon.
Hiya, I'm Nigel, playing Jackal Cameron, the leper and loner striving for companionship and control.
Vince Perino.
I'm playing Tevin, the mechanism of discovery, reconstructing memories one piece at a time.
Raquel Skellington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Raquel Skellington. I play Poppy, the tender-hearted giant.
And Luis Carrazzo.
Hello, I'm Luis Carrazzo, and I play Santos, the Glavinator.
Last time, you all came upon a riverbed on your journey towards the observatory. Jackal moved through the woods towards the sound of two individuals speaking ahead and watched them from the treetops. A dragonborn man you found to be Syrian was washing his clothing in the river, while a human woman named Mara waited on the coast with an anxious demeanor. You approached as a group, Bjorg first with a not-so-smooth entrance. Mara was startled and fumbled with her crossbow. It was tense a moment before Syrian introduced himself and Poppy jumped into the water, helping to diffuse the tension. Syrian told you of the Order of the Chrysalis, how they were both a part of the Order and were out recruiting for them, along with growing stronger themselves. They told you that too many people are waiting to be saved and need to learn how to save themselves. After some questioning, you learned that the Order has a leader, Dominic, and that they follow Stratton, a demigod who teaches strength and self-fulfillment. Karmarth, the city that the Order is founded on, is even built upon the hole left in the earth where Stratton took ground from Icaria and raised it into the sky to create his orbital. There were mixed feelings from some of the group about the Order of the Chrysalis, Poppy quietly expressing it feels like a cult, and Santos felt as if Mara was keeping something from him. After some confusion about what that may be, you left the two to head south as you all headed northward. You came upon a massive crater where a large portion of Ilos' orbital fell. Noting some remnants of where climbing gear must have been used, you all found various ways into the crater. Magic teleportation, wings, rope, and of course, just being tiny. You found the debris was a mangled mess, but looked as if it was shelter. Inside, a building, now turned on its side, cleaned up with fresh picked food, a crutch laid across the ground. Jackal entered and picked this crutch up as he looked into a nearby doorway, now horizontal with the turn in the building. Inside, he found the corpse of a being he had never seen before. Humanoid with grayish blue freckles and glassy mirror-like eyes, killed by a crossbow bolt to the heart. Next to the body was a rusty old lantern. Now the rest of you have entered into this shelter. Jack, you hear as their steps echo inside, still while holding on to this makeshift crutch you have in your hands. And so the scene is set. The question is, what will you do next?
Is this person, alien, creature, whatever it is it distinct enough to be disturbed by, I guess is my question.
I think there are times that you have found yourself in Twin Rivers, especially over the past 2 years, seeing beings that you are surprised by and learning what they are very quickly. And that was very early on in your time in Twin Rivers that you would have learned of tieflings, of drow, of dwarves, of even hearing stories of cat people, whether you've seen them or not. There are all of these different types of races and species throughout Icaria, and you've seen most of them, heard of others, and you've never even heard this described before.
Hey guys, check this out. And then I'm going to clamber into the room and kind of like approach it to inspect it a little bit closer. I guess I'm still holding the crutch too.
Yeah, again, this is, I would say, less of a room, more of a closet. Even standing in the doorway, you could like reach down and touch this being's legs.
I'm still gonna go in so I can like look at it closely. I imagine it's kind of dark down here.
Ew, stay away from that, please.
Why?
What's that?
What is it?
It looks slimy.
It's a body, but like, has anyone seen a person that looked like this before?
A dead guy?
Well, like, but one that looks like this. And I like point at the freckles and the eyes.
That is much more interesting than a dead guy.
I mean, my consciousness kind of just got here. This is different to you?
Yes.
I want to approach and just see. I need light, so I'll cast light on the blade of my glaive, but I'll kind of keep it covered a little bit under my cloak so that it's not just shedding light all over the place. And I'd like to observe the creature. I want to make sure if it's dead, but I want to also see if it looks like it's malnourished or diseased.
There is a little bit of light in here, but especially here, it's a bit darker. There's not a ton coming in, so you turn on that light, directing it with your jacket to make sure it's kind of illuminating this area. Jacket helps you get a better look. Jack, I'm going to have you roll investigation for me while you're looking, and then Santos, I'm going to have you roll nature or medicine, your choice.
Natural 20.
Nice. Whoop. I got a 5.
Okay, Santos, you definitely know that this being is dead and has been dead not that long, but it's not recent. The body's cold. That's all you can really glean from the situation. You're not quite sure what these beings are supposed to look like since you've never seen them before, so malnourished is kind of hard to guess at. So that's kind of all you're able to grasp. Jackal, you are... How much you going in on the corpse? How are you digging in pockets? Are you taking clothes off? Are you...
Doing an autopsy?
I'm not gonna go that far yet, but I am like looking in pockets. I'm looking like under the shirt or like into the robe, I guess. I'm kind of like looking even like at its face, in the ears and mouth and stuff, just looking for distinctions that might prove that this is either from here or not from here, anything like that.
You quickly realize that opening this being's mouth, the teeth, there are no canines. They are flatter. There are still kind of the front, more like piercing teeth that humanoids tend to have, but they're less sharp. So you would assume that this being is more used to eating plants and leafy greens. As you are going through pockets and things, you notice that there is not a ton more damage other than the wound to the chest. There is a little bit of scratches here and there, but it looks like they were scratched and then have healed nicely. Maybe a few days old rather than a few hours or so, maybe a day for the actual wound itself. Going through the rest of the body, you do realize that there is something in one of this being's pockets. As you pull it out, it is a thin rectangular metal plate. It's got this like pale silvery metal. It's cool to the touch, very cold actually. And it's etched with these grooves all around it. And it's about roughly, I would say, the size of like a large index card, but a little bit thicker. And as you hold it and your fingers kind of naturally fit into these grooves, you can see that when you move back and forth, there is some sort of mechanism inside and it shimmers slightly as you move your finger back and forth.
Okay, so I'm like looking down at this thing, kind of like starting to toy with it. I'm now no longer like paying attention to the guy, but I do say, hey, didn't that lady have a crossbow? As I kind of like step out of the room, like looking at this thing, I point at the crossbow bolt that's in him, right? And then I'm just gonna fiddle with this.
Don't a lot of people have crossbows around here?
I haven't seen anyone else.
Yes, but can you really rack this up to coincidence?
I have a crossbow.
Did you shoot him?
No, but I'm just saying it's not that rare.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any other people.
People are rare out in the wilds.
And they came from the north, which is where we are now compared to where we were.
Didn't they say they didn't come from the north?
Yeah, they were lying because they then said it later.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of, I want to look around the metal. I'll turn to Jackal, too. If you're done taking a look at the body, I remember that Mara had a sliced hand. I initially thought that maybe she sliced her hand because I wasn't trusting Syrian. And I'm going to start to kind of run my hands along the metal that's here, is there parts of it that have been wrecked in a way where there's jagged edges and I want to look to see if I can find blood.
Most of what is inside the wreckage right now is pretty well taken care of, and they're all pretty smooth pieces of metal. You did notice on the outside stuff is pretty torn up. You would assume if there was something like that, you'd have to go back outside and kind of look around the perimeter more of the wreckage.
I will do that. And I will, since this is intentional, I'm going to cast guidance on myself as I go out and try to find, especially the parts that look like they were propped up by the wood around there. I'm going to take a look.
Go ahead and roll me either perception or investigation.
A total of 10.
Okay. You're really focused around this area that you had mentioned earlier that had been kind of lifted up and out of the way, propped with pieces of wood, these thick branches, and you're not able to find any, but you're able to find plenty of wreckage all over the place that has sharp edges that have just been torn asunder. And it would make sense that if you're not looking where you're moving, you put your hand on something, you might cut it, but you're not able to find any blood.
I'll report back to the group when the moment arises, and this is strange. This creature is strange, and I can't I'm not focusing. So I just gotta stay outside and try to kind of calm myself, because I think this is starting to get me a little bit worked up.
Do we think that's Mara's lantern?
Maybe. I can't quite. I just have something in my gut is telling me now in hindsight that something was really wrong with those two. And I don't know. I feel like they had something to do with this. And now as I'm thinking back, what was he washing in the river?
Clothes?
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know if it's because I haven't been in the city, haven't been around people. Something in my mind is telling me that they did something wrong. And I wish I had taken a closer look at what he was washing off of his clothes. And I did a detect magic when we were back there, and I ignored this sense that I got that the clothes had been mended. I didn't think much of it, but I got a sense that there was that they mended their clothes. And now I'm thinking, well, did they mend their clothes because they got in the middle of a fight and the clothes were torn because of people or this person trying to defend themselves? And I'm jumping to conclusions.
If I may, just for a point of conjecture, while I'm still shaking the iPad, there was a crutch outside of the door, and I'll point to where I just left it once I found the iPad. So I don't think that this guy was putting up much of a fight, and he got shot by a crossbow. So I'm not saying they didn't do it, but I don't know if they only did that if he was washing blood off of that. He might not have even known. He might have just been doing laundry. She could have done something. I mean, that's her lantern, perhaps. There's all of this, maybe.
I want to see what kind of lantern it is. Is it like a pink glowy lantern, or is it a normal lantern? Can I tell?
It looks like a normal lantern. It has an oil bottle in it with the wick coming out of it. Very rusty, looks very old.
I'm gonna pick it up.
Kind of have to resettle it down, but it looks like there's enough oil to light it.
I use Druidcraft and light it.
It illuminates, and you have a nice lantern here. It does look like this lantern has one thing that you can do that's kind of special, which is hold down. It's a square lantern, so it has 4 different doors almost on it of glass, and there's actually small shades that you can pull down on each of them, so you could direct the light in the directions you want it to go.
Point it into the eyes of the dead thing.
They are very glassy, and you feel a lot of light coming back at you from them.
Ugh.
Jackal, did you recover the crossbow bolt?
No, that's in him.
I'm going to recover it. It's evidence. I'm going to dig into this creature and get that crossbow bolt.
It's unceremonious for sure, but you're able to, with some effort, get it out.
What's this iPad thing? Can I fiddle with it and try and figure out what's going on?
Roll me Arcana.
An 11.
You have this thin metallic plate in your hand, and as your fingertips kind of instinctively trace these grooves, and the metal, it's cold, but as you are kind of playing around with it, it starts to warm up, and you instinctively find this very relaxing, and you kind of breathe, and it helps to calm your thoughts. And as you do so, it feels like something stirs inside this piece of metal, and it feels almost as if your mind is being gently touched by something. And you're feeling as if you're remembering with someone else. The voice you hear is soft and distant, and there's a faint echo behind it. You feel this fractured memory of this very shelter. Everything around faint and ethereal. Color doesn't show through well. You are looking up and out the window that's on the ceiling towards a clear sky, and you hear the voice say, "The stars. I miss them most at dawn, just after they blink away. But they aren't missing. They aren't gone. In the sky they stay, waiting to show their shine. I too wait to once more show you mine." And this memory begins to distort, and there's this static crackling kind of faintly at the edges, almost like a skipping record, and you can feel the vision jumps into another. And this is again the same shelter, though it looks dirtier than it is now. There's more rubble along the floor. And this time, Jackal, you feel too, not just here, there's a pressure underneath your shoulder, like up into your armpit. And as the being moves through the shelter, there's the texture of this shaved bark on your hand. You can feel that crutch that this being is putting his weight onto. "You always told me to get out more. Now look, I'm a real survivalist now." And you could feel him lean against the nearby metal wall and take a deep breath. "I'm sorry you weren't here the first time I saw trees. I wish you could have seen them too. They're surprisingly sturdy." And again, this magical static comes into your mind and disrupts what you're feeling. And this time around you see a house, all made of metal, cabinets, a pantry. It's this house, though it is right side up. There's no damage to the walls or roof, no rubble around. And you see this man. From this man, he's leaning over a nearby counter and he's speaking with someone on the other side of it. A woman with similar pockmarked skin to him, the same graying freckles, though she has long hair held out of her face by a face wrap or by a head wrap. And this time it's her who is speaking, and you see that she seems frustrated as she does. "I just don't understand how it could possibly mimic emotion. Like it has some sort of feelings? Some way of feeling? It doesn't even think. It doesn't know anything. How could it possibly?" And there's another crackle of magical energy that pulses. And Jackal, you are watching around and you feel as you're rubbing your hand on this that there are more thoughts that have been placed into this device. There's confusion inside of you. You're not able to calm your mind. You start racing, thinking about what all of this could mean. And as you think more and more, the visions fade further and further away until you open your eyes and you see the others around.
Was Jackal out of it, or how long did that take?
I would say that took probably about 30-ish seconds. And he looked like his fingers never stopped moving, just rubbing up and down the plate. And nothing ethereal about him, more like a blank stare into the distance.
I did not enjoy that.
What?
What
Can
happened?
someone please take the iPad and do whatever you want with it? I don't want to.
iPad. You know iPads.
Sure.
Sure, I'll take it. And Poppy grabs it.
I'm assuming you don't have iPads here.
No, they
I don't know what
don't
that
have iPads here.
Can't say I recall.
They look like that though, right?
I mean, it's pretty small.
I
It's
mean,
kinda
yeah.
more like an iPhone.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a miniature one.
That was a thing. The phrase iPad mini is popping into my head, but it feel like it was
Yeah.
discontinued after like a couple of years.
Poppy strokes her chin, looks at it.
You all are very strange. I hope you know that.
I think I was seeing his memories, and I point to the guy.
It shows a video?
Well, it was like in my head, like I was him.
That's so Black Mirror.
Look, we all know that I've got some experience with someone else being in my head. Not a fan. I'm not gonna deal with that piece anymore. So I'll keep looking up for stuff.
Can I do it? I want to watch. I reach out for the iPad.
Maybe more than one person can do it at the same time.
Poppy looks and see if there's like a way to turn it on or if there's like a home button. She hands it over to Lenore.
What do I do?
Maybe just touch the screen?
Staring at it and fiddling, tapping it, shaking it.
Lenore, as you're playing around with it, roll me Arcana.
18.
You are playing around with it. It's not like an iPad. You're so not frustrated, but really just confused because it's quite different. You start instinctively looking back and forth, and your finger kind of just finds its way into one of these grooves. And as you start moving back and forth, you too feel this same feeling of airiness, and these memories come to you. And you watch as the man from the man's eyes says this poem to the stars as he speaks to himself in this shelter, walking on this new crutch, as he speaks with the woman across from him at the counter. But yours don't end there. You're calm. You are able to just continue rubbing and feeling as if you are in this person's place. You again find yourself in this same room, and this time you watch the woman enter from the main entryway. This time she looks even younger than you had just seen her, and much more excited. I can't believe we've finally done it. Real life resonance, captured and quelled. It can't affect anything in its containment. And you feel the man get up, rush over to hug her, and you can feel the happiness from the man himself, and you can see the happiness on her face. And there's this embrace, and you feel the magic pulse zap you almost as you connect with her away from this memory, until once again, you're in this room. You see the woman, now this time much older, rush into the house in a panic. There's been a meeting called. One of the containments failed. Ilos has gotten reports there's someone else on the orbital. Someone else. We aren't sure how many, but they are hostile. Lock the door and stay down. I showed you how to use this. It will protect you and the house if you need it. And in this blurred, almost vision, you watch as she hands over this crystalline device to the man. I will be back as soon as I can. Wait, don't. And as the woman leaves, the door slams and the vision fades once more. But this time, no new memories start. The device in your hand has warmed up in your palms, and your fingers have followed the grooves on its surface, and now it turns cold once more.
The iPad is the thing that she handed him.
It is not.
Oh.
It looked like a different device that had a crystalline compartment on it. It still had a similar metallic structure, but it was almost like a domed portion of it with a crystal inside, like a glass dome with a crystal inside.
Did you see the same things I did? We talked to the stars, and then something about mimicking emotion and having feelings, and then the lady was all excited, and they captured the resonance and quelled it, and it's contained. And then she was older, and she's like, oh, it containment's failed. Ilos has gotten reports. Someone else is on the orbital, and they're hostile.
Whoa.
And then she's like, lock the door, stay down, and she gave him this crystal thing and said it would protect him in the house. I don't know if that worked. Where's the crystal thing? Is that what you saw?
Is there a crystal thing anywhere? Everyone check your feet.
Look around. I'm shining the lantern around looking for crystal and devices.
Everyone who is looking around, you can feel free to give me investigation checks.
You said when we were walking on the wall because the house was sideways, correct?
Correct.
Didn't you say something about cupboards or cabinets or something?
Yes.
I want to dive into those.
Not literally.
If I can fit, who knows?
Yeah.
That's a natural 20 for a 24.
Nice.
Okay.
He's diving in.
I'm diving in, baby.
Diving in.
Going for a swim.
Everyone else, feel free also to roll me investigation checks if you're looking for anything specific.
I got a 4.
Okay.
9.
4. Oh, pathetic.
Yeah.
7.
Nat 20.
Attaboy, doubles.
Okay. Santos?
I feel that might be covered since that was announced. I'm gonna walk around. I want to see if I can identify other homes. I'm now wondering if this feels like we're inside of a home. If there are others a part of this wreckage, I'm gonna start to see if maybe there's other individuals here that were not just this dead guy.
I'm going to also have you roll me investigation, and we're going to go Bjorg, then Tevin, and then potentially Santos, depending on what the roll's looking like.
Colin, was the woman gray, blue, freckle-ish
Yes.
person? Okay.
Yep. She had very similar vibes overall. She had longer hair, but the same kind of bluish freckles, a little bit gray skin, glassy eyes.
Oh, glassy eyes isn't from being dead. Okay.
Correct. Does not seem like it.
That's just how they are.
Santos, what'd you get on your roll?
I got a 10.
Okay. Bjorg, you got a natural 20, you said, to look in some cupboards. You actually remember walking in, there was cupboards underneath your feet because of how this happened to fall and where the wreckage actually kind of opened up in the walls. You're able to move over and you see a lot of them here. Opening up some of the cupboards, you can see that some have already been emptied of things. There is cabinetry here that has like plates and things in it to eat with. It looks like you are in what used to be a kitchen, but you're continuing to look around. You're finding nothing really edible that is left, nothing that is in packaging, nothing that would have been shelf stable. It looks like these have pretty much been picked clean. But you think, okay, let's continue looking for cabinetry. There's no one else that's doing that. So you continue looking around and nothing really in this pantry / closet thing here where the body is. Going outside of where this wreckage is, you do find another piece of what must have been this same building broken off just a few yards away. The wall here looks a little bit thinner. You see that there's another smaller cabinet. It takes a moment to try to open up because it is pretty busted in. You are able to finally get that hinge working properly to open up. And inside there is more of these metallic plates that Jack just found. Though these look older, dustier, some a bit rusted, some are completely broken through. And they look to be organized in some way, or at least once were organized. There is like a case here also made of metal where they were like placed, but since the fall, there's been jostled all over the place.
I'll at least grab one, the one that's most intact, I guess, just to have.
Yeah.
And see, just to bring back and recoup findings with everybody.
Yep. You find one that has definitely still some energy to it. Even just putting your hand in it, you can almost feel that there's some sort of magical essence inside. Tevin, what were you looking for while you were investigating?
The little glass ball she wanted, was it?
You start looking for things that are like crystals, and looking about the wreckage, you do not find much in here, especially in this main room, because so much has been cleaned up. The rubble has been pushed to the side, has been swept into the corners. You move outside, at least outside the main kind of shelter that's here, where there's much more rubble and debris, and you're looking for small devices. And as you do so, you aren't able to find anything with a nice glass dome on it with a gem inside, but you're looking for things, and the gems you have seen before, Bjorg has plenty of them. They're bright, they're shiny. You're looking for something metallic with a little bit of shine to it, maybe a different color. You happen to find a small, very broken, it looks like it used to be a canister of some sort, a cylinder, maybe handheld, that has been since busted in half. And in the sunlight that is still here, you notice that there is this orange powdery residue on the metal of this canister.
Does the canister look familiar to anything I've seen before?
Other than that, it is metal, no, but I will have you roll me Arcana when looking at the powder.
For
Balance.
You are not familiar with it.
And it's just residue on the outside. There's nothing inside of it. Because you said it's broken open, right?
It is broken open, and as you're getting a little bit closer, there is more residue inside than outside.
How big is this?
Handheld. maybe 10 inches long.
And there's nothing else around it?
I mean, there's so much around it, but doesn't seem like it belongs necessarily with the things that are around it. It's broken down walls. There's trees that have fallen. It's so hard to tell where something would belong here unless it's inside where everything was more protected.
And in the room that I find it in, it doesn't look like that it belongs to anything specifically. It doesn't look like it inserts into something or it came off of something near there. Like it just looks like it was on its own.
So it's not really in a room. It's more on the outside where things were a little bit more broken down. And yeah, there's like nothing else here. It and a bunch of rocks and rubble and stuff. So it doesn't look like it belongs to anything else that you have seen.
With how much it's calling to me and catching my attention, I'm going to gather it up as gently as I can to try to keep some of that stuff in there and try to bring it back to the group.
Okay. Santos, you got a 10?
Mm-hmm.
You're going outside. Are you flying around a little bit trying to get a bird's eye view? Or are you looking specifically for, I know you said you're looking for specifically like other buildings and things.
I think I'll take to the sky and get now that I'm sort of taking this closer look in, I think it's going to maybe change the way I look at this wreckage from up high.
You're able to fly upward a little bit, not too high because you want to stay close, get a good view, flying kind of back and forth around. And yeah, this is a big crater, but it's mostly filled with this piece of wreckage. It looks like this is the majority of what has fallen here, and it is all that has really fallen here. You're not seeing any remnants of other buildings. You know, you see metal pieces as far as the other end of the crater, and even some that might have fallen even into like the trees up above, but they all look like they probably belonged into this piece of wreckage. You're not finding any other traces of people being here. You're not finding any traces of really anything else.
I will return to the group and tell them we're here alone. I don't see signs of anybody else, and I don't know what sense to make of any of this.
Yo, can you fit the body in your pocket?
Can Lenore make it small? I might be able to make it small.
I could try.
Do we need it? It's going to get stinky. Paprika's in there.
I mean, it's only gonna be for a minute. It will get bigger again inside.
That's okay. It just has to get in. But then Paprika has to deal with it. She's around food and toppings and...
Ask her. Maybe it'll stay separate.
Before we do this, could we perhaps check to see if any of this is on the body?
What is that?
I am not quite positive. I thought maybe it was important.
Is that the crystalline device?
It is a device, yes, I think.
Is that the thing I saw?
No.
No.
Huh.
What's that orange stuff?
I do not know. Perhaps one of you do.
I'll approach Lenore, and I'm just gonna tell you, I don't know what's going on here, but maybe your eyes are working for you better than mine have been. I'm gonna cast guidance on you.
I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna, alongside Lenore, just take my finger and give it a small wipe to inspect, check it out.
Lick it.
Not yet.
No, you should. You can tell everything by licking it. I've learned that the hard way.
I want to inspect this thing.
Both Bjorg and Lenore, you can give me investigation checks or arcana checks. It is your choice.
Arcana.
They're the same at 21.
Dang.
12.
Bjorg, you are a connoisseur of colors in a way, are you not?
Why, thank you.
So many different gems, making sure they match with people's eyes, the ways that you can exploit them to make sure, hey, they got the best thing, but also it's the cheapest for me and I can make the most money. This color you've seen before, the exact color. This looks just like the powder that Chana used to help you meditate. The astral bloom, she called it.
Oh, shit, yes, okay, so glad I did not lick that. Oh, I knew I recognized this. Remember when we did our meditation, this is astral bloom, whatever Chana called it. It's that same powder, but how it ended up here is curious.
I had a feeling. I got like a fifth sense about these sorts of things.
What other sense are you missing?
Can't taste anything worth a heap of beans.
What does that mean?
What?
Worth a heap of beans?
Yeah, that's not like worth a lot, so Like, how much would you pay for a heap of beans?
Does that mean you can't taste stuff?
Not great.
Oh. Does that mean you just eat healthy all the time? Because it doesn't matter because you can't really taste it anyway.
Kinda. I mean, have you seen my physique? It takes a lot to maintain. As in, I eat what I need to, and when I need to.
That must be nice.
Sure. It's usually more often than most people in the banks.
You live in a bank?
No, Lenore, you live there too. The banks.
We lived in a bank?
So anyway, did you taste the powder?
No, but you're more than welcome to have a taste.
No.
Not particularly sure I want to experience that again. But
Yeah.
if we have a small reservoir, it might not be a bad idea in case someone does end up wanting to take another dive.
We could throw it in an enemy's face, make him trip.
Does it look like something that I could close securely, I guess?
No.
And how much of it is specifically is there?
I have an idea. Could I fit all of it in my Tevin hole?
I feel like I know where this is going.
He's putting it in his Tevin hole.
Oh God.
And
hate
try to
that.
make bullets out of it?
Oh,
I expected something way different.
Are you going to try to do so?
David, you can try. Shit. Do you have any empty casings? Do that instead. Instead of shoving the whole thing in there, just load it up like gunpowder.
I'll just grab like a couple pieces of metal off the ground or like somewhere and just make some casings in my chest quick.
Okay. Yeah. You make a few small casings.
Rather than risking that getting all up in your bloodstream, I don't know what that would do to you.
It is a good idea. Let's try. And I'll put some of it in there and just see what happens.
I'm going to have whoever is helping roll sleight of hand, whether it be... I think having both Bjorg and Tevin basically doing this like as advantage, but each one of you kind of rolling because you're both helping. I want to see how much you're able to grab of this.
I got a 6.
I got a 10.
I should be helping. I'm +4.
Okay, you're able to get enough. It's very hard. There's a lot of broken metal. You're worried about hurting your hands. You're able to kind of keep swiping some of this off until you can have like a good handful of it. Tevin, you definitely could have gotten more if you had not moved around so much. There's probably a little bit of tugging back and forth between you and Bjork, thinking you could do it better than him, he could do it better than you, and just a bunch of this powder just falling off to the ground, mixing with all the dirt and everything on the ground. But you take a bullet casing along with all that powder and you put it into your chest. Constitution saving throw, Tevin.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
All right.
it's fair.
21 by chance?
You put it in there and you start to feel the contraption inside bending the metal around all of this powder, trying to make it as solid of a unit as possible. It works, feels totally normal as it's going through, and you know there's this one spot that normally when the bullet's done, you feel one last kind of like shake to get it, basically gets connected to something that helps it be held in place so the metal can be like wrapped up. And there's always a release of it at the end before you can open your chest and pull it out. And as it releases, the bullet falls and there's this arm, almost like a magnetic arm that comes back into your body that holds that metal. From inside the casing where this is being made, it kind of comes out, holds it while it's being made. And as it comes back in, a little bit of that powder comes with it, just enough. And right when it connects with your body, there is a flash inside of your mind as you are looking down over a man in a suit. He's got a red and green striped tie on. He's got an earpiece in his left ear, dark black hair, completely shaved on the sides, but a little bit fluffy on the top. He's got a big mole on his left cheek, and he's just got a bit of 5 o'clock shadow, and you're over top of him on the ground, and both of your hands are around his neck as you are squeezing the life out of him, as you see strands of blonde hair come down from the back of your head and between you and him as you watch the light leave his eyes. And that door opens, and you open your eyes, and you have that bullet.
Did I leave?
No, sir.
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay. I think maybe I should not use this for a moment. Here, Bjork, hold this, please. And I'm just gonna throw the bullet at him. Just have him hold it for a minute. Maybe maybe that was not the best idea.
What happened?
Did you see something?
I don't know. I think maybe I might have hurt somebody, or I saw someone hurt.
You hurt someone? You weren't doing anything.
I feel as if I was not here, and I don't know.
I can load it up and hang on to it for a while if you'd like.
Please do.
Flip open Tough Luck and eject a bullet, put the new one in, and just there, out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. Put it back in the pocket.
Tevin, when we did that ritual with Chana, do you remember what came to mind for you?
Nothing of that nature.
But when you came out of that ritual, did you recognize those as memories?
I do not know. I feel as if it was much different. I was able to see differently. This time I was unable to control anything. It's as if I was looking through another's eyes.
Well, that powder stuff and whatever we did with Chana was all very mysterious, and I'm not sure we totally understand what that was, so maybe this is nothing to really be alarmed by. Maybe it's just a trick in your mind.
I hope it is. That will never come to fruition. I hope.
Right. Well, what have we learned here? We've got a dead alien. Tevin's seen some things. I've seen some things. Lawrence's seen some things. Those worms down there are probably seeing some things with all that powder you dropped. But what did we accomplish being here? Did we find the thing that we're supposed to find with the orbital wreckage? Or what they wanted us to find?
I don't know if we know what we're supposed to find. I think this was just another lead.
Could this be from the orbital? I'll point to the powder on the ground.
Oh, right. What did Chana say about astral bloom? Isn't it is from space? Did we know that?
I didn't take any, so I wouldn't know.
Well, it's called astral, isn't it?
That's why I'm asking, just for confirmation.
And do we not know that the ones we met before may not have grabbed something from here? Maybe what we were looking for.
They could have all of it, and yes.
Also, the flyers for the cult, they're like super orange, right?
Oh.
Lenore, you bring out the flyer. Oddly the same shade of orange. Lenore, roll me wisdom.
I have terrible wisdom, but I rolled an 18, so 16.
Wow.
Lenore, you think back to the vision you had while under the effects of the astral bloom, where you felt like you were in space. You saw all of the different orbitals, all of the different symbols, the different animals on each of them. And you remember two things happening right before Ilos exploded. You remember two colors, a flash of purple coming from the snake, and then there was a flash of orange, exact same orange.
From Stratton.
Before Ilos exploded.
Wait, what symbol is Stratton?
Stratton is the butterfly.
In my / our vision, because I think we saw similar stuffs, wasn't there an explosion? Oh, the snake something was like purple, and then the butterfly, like the cult, the Stratton cult, exploded orange.
Okay.
So this is from Stratton.
Then how did it get here? Maybe it's like on a meteor.
Ilos was taken over. Someone else was on Ilos. Like it's a planet or a ship, right? We don't know how many, but they're hostile is what I heard. So, but that means that they're probably in contact with the others. And so they might have moved from one place to another. Stratton attacked Ilos, got it all orangey, and Ilos crashed and left with a bunch of orange stuff. I don't know how long, if the orange stuff has been here since before Ilos.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we have the orange stuff too, and we didn't explode. It wasn't brought here under hostile stuff. This canister could have just been that guy's, like, personal stash if he's just trying to have spiritual enlightenment. So he just got it from a guy that was from Butterfly Place.
Yeah.
My thought could be, if this is something that's new, the Order of the Chrysalis and Stratton and everything, they are hell-bent on this orange substance. This, for all we know, this could be floating around the ether, floating through space, and then, of course, when Ilos explodes, debris, I mean, look at all of this. Debris, canisters, metal, anything, could have just gathered it up and dropped it here. If the Order of the Chrysalis had found anything residual of space dust, aka this orange powder, who knows what they could have seen just like we did. That's grounds enough to start a whole fucking cult about if you're inhaling space dust and seeing visions of a god of strength and enlightenment and fulfillment. It could just be residue that found its way down to Icaria.
What if that's just the two folks that, like, what if that's theirs? The lady with the crossbow and the dragonborn guy. Like, what if they just dropped this canister?
The stash?
If they have clearly made this their home base, well, I guess they wouldn't hide it amongst rubble.
Well, I don't think that this is their home base. I think they found this guy and they did some malarkey.
Yes.
This seems like this guy's home that fell from the sky and then he got murked just for being here.
What animal was representing Ilos?
An ant.
And the purple energy, right? Lenore, because you're reminding us that there was the snake was emitting this purple energy. The orange energy and the purple energy collided on Ilos?
Not exactly. There was a flash of purple from the snake's orbital. Then there was a much more intense, fiery flash of this orange from Stratton's, only on Stratton's orbital. And then you saw Ilos explode.
Okay. They didn't like make contact.
No, it wasn't a Kamehameha moment or anything like that.
Yeah.
Weird. What if they were communicating? What if they're sending messages to each other?
Via explosion?
So strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Do we believe we may gain more information if we find the others that we met before? Maybe go back and search for them.
I mean, we've been traveling for a long time.
The opposite way. That was almost a whole day ago.
Unless they followed. Can I like run outside and just like look up to see if I see them anywhere?
Yeah.
Jackal's demeanor is going from interested to not interested to bored and antsy because he wants to like keep moving. I'm running outside to look for them.
Yeah, you've run outside. You don't see anyone. You do remember, Jack, that one of the last things they said was, we hope to see you in Karmarth, kind of as a, hey, we will be back there and we hope you join.
Wherever they are, take however long we traveled and double it, because they were going the exact opposite way.
I see.
I'll walk back inside with my shoulders slumped.
I want to find this crystal thing.
What if that's what they took? They weren't there, by the way.
Well, we know we'll see them at Karmoth.
We can confront them at the sex parties.
Snakes in the grass. Bush. Sorry.
Nice.
Thanks.
Like a fist bump.
So we were meant to go to the observatory, and this was a stop that we were intending to make on the way. Do we stay that course? Maybe there's something that we'll learn from the observatory. It's a place to observe the sky. Maybe there's things that they've seen there and things that they know.
Yeah.
I think that's our best course of action.
And we gotta find that kid.
We have to find Joran's child.
Yes.
It should be on the way to the observatory regardless. Let's hope this being isn't Joran's kid. No, he said he was a Leonin or something, right? I don't fucking know. Did I make that up entirely? Yes. Sick.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that.
Yeah.
He's also a dwarf.
Hell yes. Shows how much I care about children.
Colin, do we know any of the other gods' names?
You have heard Necros,
Right.
who I believe you do know is associated with the snake. And then Bjorg also told you about Margot and Jory.
Those are just normal names.
They're known as the twins.
They're normal individuals for us normal folk.
So Necros is the snake with the purple, and it was and then Stratton with the orange, the bigger.
Is there a color associated with resonance?
A deep red. You remember the first time you saw the very first episode we did. So the very first time you saw Resonance, the smoke dragon that appeared from this piece of Ilos' orbital was this deep black smoke with these like red undertones to it, kind of sweeping throughout. I will mention to you as well, Santos, that Linnea, when you asked her about Ilos, what may have happened, she mentioned that if any of the other demigods did anything to her, it would have been Necros.
Yeah, I remember this. I'll remind the group of that as well. I don't know what else to make of it, but don't think we're going to find other answers here. We can assume that crystal was taken from here if we can't find it with as thorough an investigation as we've been doing.
Shall we continue on towards the observatory?
Yeah.
Might as well go.
I think that's best.
All right. I'll start climbing onto Santos's front.
Oh shit, how am I going to get back out?
Well, I'll grab the rope and I'll tie it back up around something up there as I fly
Oh
up.
yes, you can just do rounds.
I guess that
Make
we could do
trips.
that too. I'll start climbing off.
It's going to be really hard to lift everybody up one at a time.
How late is it getting?
It is late afternoon because you met them early in the morning and then you traveled for like 6 to 8 hours. So it's probably closer to like 4-ish p.m.
Okay, Bjork. Time to get tiny again.
Again. I choose to fail. Paprika must be so small right now.
Also, Colin, something happened.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Am I on you right now? Am I piggybacking on you right now while this
Oh,
happens?
you're dead.
Probably being held up because how are you picking back in with the wings?
Yeah, you got a koala in the
That's
front.
true.
Yeah, no, I pick you up.
Lenore, roll me a D100.
Oh,
Who's it gonna be? Which patron are we getting today?
Ooh.
30.
Oh.
30.
Does Ryan have to roll a new character?
If it's a patron's fault, I'm gonna scream.
That'd be so funny.
This is from Toby Bird over on our Patreon. If you want to submit things to make some weird shit happen with Lenore Rolls Wild Magic Search, patreon.com/castparty. Okay, Lenore, as this wild magic kind of surges through you feel as if it's just something a little extra for the next. I'm going to have you roll me a D20, please. We're going to see how long this is going to last.
19.
For the next 19 minutes, your head is triple the size it normally is. You have advantage on sight-based checks due to your new massive eyes and disadvantage on stealth rolls. And you have to haphazardly balance the weight of your now massive noggin on your body.
Oh,
This is big head mode.
Neck.
Thank you, Toby
Big
Bird.
head mode.
That's brilliant.
Oh my god, your neck's gonna be killing you.
is happening? I don't like this.
Can you fly
Whoa.
straight? Good God!
I'm so wobbly.
No way.
So does it look like a balloon? Like her head
Oh my
blew up
God.
like a balloon to us?
Yeah, pretty
Like-
much.
Wow.
Wow.
I can't look.
Uh oh.
For 19 minutes, huh?
Yeah, and Bjork, you are feeling way more wobbly going up because Lenore, you are not used to flying like this. There's a big counterweight now.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Just absolutely spinning.
Eventually, I get you to the top.
Yeah, it takes a while.
And I just sit down on my butt and just hold my head in the middle, hold it up straight.
I too am holding my head straight, but just planted onto the ground so I can feel some sort of stability until this ends.
This is terrible, but I can see so much.
Gotta find the silver linings, I guess.
Ooh, Lenore, roll me perception with advantage.
Yeah.
With your dinner plate
Oh,
eyeballs.
now from up here?
Yeah.
I don't have good perception. 8.
Okay. Your head's still a little spinning, so it's hard to focus on things, especially in the distance. You're like, wow, I can see really far, but like, just your head just can't find anything. Yeah.
It's gonna go way back to normal, right? Like when I turned into a human and I turned back.
I don't know.
Try taking your head off.
No.
What?
Just like your wings.
Oh, God.
No.
While that's happening, I will have wrapped the rope around like a tree stump or a boulder to brace and help like Tevin and Poppy climb up.
They kind of have to help each other just be able to get to grabbing the rope. And yeah, whoever's using the rope, I'll have athletics checks from you, please. If you're using the rope, you have advantage.
Oh my god, I'm rolling really bad today. I got 15.
Nat 20 yet again.
Wow.
Yo,
Hey,
you took all
nice.
my good dice energy.
He just walks up the wall like, damn.
Magnet.
Yeah. You guys didn't know that Tevin had a winch this whole time, like built in his car. He just pushed the rope on, just all the way up to the top. Poppy a little bit slower, easily able to make it up using that rope, untie it, and you're able to grab it. And then you're able to head further northward towards the observatory. You kind of have to get back off of this path because of this giant crater to get all the way around it and continue northward. As you start moving, you see ahead of you. You kind of already have been increasing in elevation, but this is starting to get steeper and steeper. Lenore especially is the first one to notice a few minutes into your journey that deep in the distance, there's lots of trees and things, but you see what looks to be some sort of man-made structure high up atop this mountain coming up. Lenore, for you, might expect an observatory to be domed at the top.
Yeah.
This is completely flat. From where you can see, you just see a flat roof and maybe some flat sides to it. But you do see at least some sort of stone structure deep in the distance. It looks like it's going to take a little while to get to, especially now that you will be hiking upward into the mountains.
Is my head back to normal? Has it been 19 minutes?
You're really focusing, trying to see this in the distance. And as you are, it slowly gets blurrier and your perspective changes oh so slightly as your eyes go back to the normal size.
Oh, thank God it's back. But hey, I saw a building up on a hill.
Oh,
It wasn't domed though, so I don't know if it's the observatory. It was like real flat, but it's pretty far still.
I'll compare that to the map just to give us a little confidence that we're heading in the right direction. That must be the observatory.
I do believe the map you have pretty much stops at this mountain range and that you were told that the observatory is right past it. So you're kind of extrapolating a little bit because pretty much you're at the end of where this map was that you had taken from Nightshade. You're pretty sure that that would be the observatory, and you have not heard of any other villages or any large things out here before. You'd assume most likely something in the mountains like that would be an observatory of some sort or associated with it.
Well, looks like that's our destination. Let's get climbing up.
Oof.
does anyone want to race? Anyone want to race? Come on.
I'll fly.
So far.
Race you.
You'll race me? Okay. We can do this.
Okay. I jump up and I start flying upwards.
Okay, and I am sprinting like whatever route I need to do, if it's up walls, if it's through the woods.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Oak Spell.
I
no.
too was thinking about
Again?
casting a spell.
my God.
Oh God.
When Jack is like 55 feet away, I reach two hands forward and I grab in front of me and I pull down, and I'm casting Pratfall. An invisible force sharply tugs on Jack's trousers, causing their clothing to slip.
What the
Target
hell?
must make
What
a
is
dexterity
that?
saving throw. On a failed, the target has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
You're pantsing him in the middle of a race?
Crazy.
That's
Joke's on you. I'll keep running without my pants. But I'll do my little dex save here. 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
So the pants come off and they just go right behind me and I keep running.
They float in the wind down like a feather in the cartoons.
Oh God. Like Poppy holds up a hand.
Are you also casting a spell, Bjorg? Do I have to deal with sabotage twice?
No, I thought Lenore was going to help you, so I was going to help Santos. But seeing as we're just pranking now, I will skip.
Okay.
Wow, thanks.
On my leisure walk to the building, I'm just going to slowly scoop up his pants and just hold them far away from me as I walk further.
Santos, are you just flying like normal speed?
I mean, flying normal speed, but I get to kind of take a direct diagonal upward route.
I was just saying, like, if you really wanted to go fast, you'd like probably smoke Jack, but like you see how fast he's running. Are you going just going like normal speed, kind of let him have a chance?
I'm going normal speed. I want to just barely beat him.
Okay, Jack, roll me. What's your speed normally?
It's 30, but I can dash and bonus action dash.
Okay.
So I'm just sprinting. I'm on all fours, just for the visual picture.
Yeah, no, yeah, I got it.
Greyhound.
I've got the visual picture once the pants came off.
Attaboy.
I want you to roll me acrobatics,
Okay.
and I'm going to give you advantage.
Okay. 24.
Hmm.
I just need one thing from you, Jack. A Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
I just want to see how long you're able to keep this up.
gotcha.
Because right now you're sprinting up and around these rocks really fast. And Santos is like, oh no, I actually have to move a lot faster. If you could keep this up the whole time, this speed.
Nope. It's a 13.
Jack is leading the way up the mountain, especially for you other land dwellers. The way up the mountain is narrow and winding. You're kind of increasing in elevation slowly, though Jack not so slowly, finding as many ways he can skip routes up to get just higher in elevation faster. You start in dense packed forest. Sometimes you guys are like carving through the underbrush in making your way around large obstacles. Other times, the only way forward is to climb vines, rocky handholds, things like that to get you upward. You get to the point where the air starts to get thinner, and so does the forest, moving to more stony terrain with some smaller shrubs and grasses. There's still large trees, but they're much more spread out because there's like just less soil here for them to grow out of. And Jack, you're the first one to find yourself on a very flat area towards much higher portion of this mountain. And you are huffing and puffing and moving a hell of a lot slower. And Santos has been ahead, kind of in the trees, looking about you. And just as you are starting to see in the distance some structures ahead, the winged Santos comes swooping down in front of you, just about 15 foot ahead to a light jog ahead of you, and you're just not able to keep up.
I'll get you next time.
You will.
Good game. Good game.
You almost got me this time. It was really, really, really hard on me.
I'm huffing. I'm puffing. You're just standing
I'm
there.
breathing fine.
Yeah, I can tell. I had you on the ropes.
I'm probably breathing a little heavy just because it takes a little bit of extra oomph under the wings to propel my body upward through the air. But I traveled less distance than you, essentially.
Yeah, you should have seen just all the things I was fighting down there too. That just really slowed me down.
I just think all those times that I carried you up and down that crater, it just that was quite the workout, and so it prepared me for
no,
this.
you're right. Even footing. I fair and square. You got this one. Hey, what happened to my pants?
I was going to say, you guys are having this conversation for quite a while until the others who are taking leisurely walks and or flies from Lenore up the mountaintop. From the trees, you say that, Jack, as Tevin just arm outstretched, pants in hand.
Well, thank you. How did you get them? I just take them and start putting them back on.
Question, though, is this the first time we've seen Jack's tail? / did Jack have a tail? Because that is important to me.
Oh.
Huh. Interesting. I guess it would have been the first time, but it's like probably not there. Probably a little bit of scar tissue.
Ooh.
Like a scar patch there. But you guys do get a full view of my leg. That is kind of the more important part, the fully robotic leg.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
interesting.
You've at least seen the foot before because like I don't wear shoes, but this you can see like where it goes up to. It's like it's halfway up the thigh if you were a human, but rabbits are a little bit different is where it kind of starts going into the full robot look.
I think I'm gonna. There's probably no way I don't notice it, but I'm gonna just play it off as best as I can and not call attention to it.
I'm just staring at this building as I fly up.
Lenore, you notice that, especially from here, ahead of you is these structures that Jack just saw. They're through the trees. You guys realize, especially Lenore and Santos, who are a little bit higher up, you realize you're not quite at the top of the mountain yet. You're kind of on the side of the mountain, very high up. Ahead are these man-made structures you can see through the trees. This path you're on opens up a bit and heads towards a gate. There are these 15-foot tall walls that block your view from what lies beyond. Though you can see a structure behind it kind of peeking over the walls. There's these red shingled roofs and a few standing towers that seem to be a part of a bigger structure, but that's kind of all you can see that's making its way over these 15-foot walls ahead of you. As it kind of opens up ahead, you see that, yeah, there's still room up the mountain, and there does look to be another building up there. And Lenore, this is the one that you saw in the distance, this bigger, darker stone building that's more angular in nature. But the pathway leads forward to what looks to be, like I said, these walls, this gate, and ahead inside this, before this gate, you see a beautiful statue.
I'm Just gonna head towards it. This is where we are meant to go. Curious about that statue, so I want to take a look at it.
Yeah, ahead, the path follows forward, opens up almost. You recognize that now this area seems a bit more well manicured. The grasses are cut down, the weeds are taken care of. You move up to this statue and you find it to be a fountain. It is kind of in this courtyard just outside the walls of whatever compound this is, and just before this large gate that's about, they're 50 feet ahead of you. The statue itself is a fountain. It is a winged elven woman. She's holding a staff in her hands and holding it up towards the sky, and her face is also looking up towards the sky. And the tip of the staff has a sphere on it, and you can see as water flows out of the sphere in 6 streams of water, kind of all radially around, just into the basin around her. And then ahead is what looks to be the gate. The gate is currently closed.
Is the sphere of the staff made out of the same material of the statue?
Yes, it looks like it's all made of stone. Does look like different kinds of stone have been used here, some more polished than others. Looks like good craftsmanship, but it does look like just plain rock.
Oh, and I'm going to start a ritual for detect magic while others poke around.
Okay. Wonderful.
How is the gate locked?
Think like portcullis style gate. Like this is 15-foot walls all the way around with a big iron portcullis, like just iron gates coming down. So you can see through the gate if you were to get closer.
I bet we could lift it, I say as I approach the gate.
Yeah, I bet I could lift it by myself.
The others are standing by the statue as Jack heads towards the gate. Is anyone else following?
I want to be like halfway between.
Okay. Kevin, Poppy, what you guys doing?
Poppy, seeing the structures, the trees, and feeling the thinness in the air on top of the mountain, and she starts watching the others just move towards the fountain like this is exactly where they're supposed to be. And she feels wrong. Like this feels wrong to her. Like she's not supposed to be here. This just isn't the way forward. She looks over to Bjorg and grabs his shoulder before he walks too far ahead. Hold on. Are we really doing this?
Doing what? Going to the observatory? It makes sense, doesn't it?
Does it? What are we even getting out of this?
We won't know until we get inside, I guess. I am hoping we learn something about what happened to Ilos, of course.
But Ilos isn't what brought us here. It's not what brought me here to Ikaria.
Well, yes, it isn't what brought you here specifically, but it's what brought us all together. It's the only thing that we know that connects each and every one of us in our group. And I lift up my hand to show the marking on the back of my palm.
Yeah, but like, I don't need to know about the markings. At least I don't think I do. She sighs and looks off to the horizon. I need to know why I was the one who was heard. Why I was able to get out of there. I know you don't know much about Earth, or don't remember it, at least. But things like this don't just happen. People don't just move from one world to another.
Well, there's got to be an answer out there, somewhere. And maybe, just maybe, we'll learn about it here.
Maybe there is an answer. Maybe not. But I don't think the answer is behind those walls. I can't go with y'all anymore. I'm gonna go.
You're going to go where?
I don't know. Maybe go home to Twin Rivers, back to the farm. Maybe something else will put me in another direction.
Listen, out of our group, you are the most independent and well-versed in Ikaria and this other world that you all keep yapping about. If I trust anyone out there, it's going to be you, and I am not going to stop you. You're lucky that you brought me out here and not Santos or Lenore, because they would be yapping those pointy ears off about why you need to stay with the group. But I understand. And Bjorg is going to start rifling through his pocket. If you need me, if you need us, if you find yourself with a reason to contact us for any reason at all, here. And Bjork hands over the small earring, the same one he gave to Lenore that he could use to contact her with. Unsure if you've gotten to use one of these yet, just pop it in your ear. Think real hard about me. I know that's so difficult. But just touch the gem, and I'll be able to hear and even speak back to you.
Poppy smiles at Bjorg, tears welling in her eyes. Thanks, Bjorg. Tell the others I'm sorry. I don't do well with goodbyes.
Of course. I'll let them know. Good luck, okay, kid?
Poppy grabs Bjorg's hand and squeezes it, and gives him a nod, and starts heading back down the mountain.
I will investigate the statue a little bit more.
Jack, you head towards the gate and you realize as you get closer that you can see right through it. You can see people walking back and forth. There are individuals here. You're still kind of far away. You're about 30 feet from the gate. And at that moment, you see just above the gate is a little walkway and you see an individual appears. You watch this person, tan robes they're wearing. They have leather utility belt and like an over the shoulder harness. They have a bunch of items on their person that you can see from here. Looks like some sort of metallic tuning fork and some sort of leather satchel that has other tools in it that are hard to see from here. This robe that they're wearing has the hood over top of their head, and where you're expecting to see face, you see a mirror reflecting back at you. And for today, that's a wrap.
Hey guys, it's Raquel. I have some really exciting stuff in the works right now in the LARP world, and I'm actually going to be taking a little break from Cast Party for a few months. Don't worry, Poppy herself is also going to be getting some excitement with just a little bit of time away from the group. I'm so excited for her to have this like little journey, as well as I can't wait for her to rejoin the group and continue on with the stories. Thanks for understanding, guys. Don't worry, I'll see you soon. And if you want to follow along for my adventures, you can look me up at Raquel Skellington on almost every platform. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you soon.
You're not gonna leave it on Mirror Face.
Not mirror face.
Not the mirror face. Wonderful. Thank you all so much for listening. Catch us over on Patreon, patreon.com/. Oh, wow. I'm trying to speak too.
Leave it in.
Slow down and actually get through an outro for once.
I just don't function. Patreon.com/castparty. You can help us out by giving us more things to fill out Lenore's wild magic table. You can give us names of NPCs that we may or may not run into. Who are these people? Why they got mirror faces? Or do they have names? I don't know. But when I need names, I know where I'm going. Patreon.com/castparty. We will see you there, and we'll see you there in 1 week over on Behind the Scenes, where we're going to talk about mirror face and a bunch of weird shit that happened, to be honest.
Drugs?
Pantsless Jack.
Yeah, kind of drugs. You got
Drug bullet.
memories. You got aliens.
I did just add drug bullet to my inventory.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
That'd be interesting.
That's metal as fuck. We'll talk about it all later. We will see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Come on, Jack. You got this. You are fast. Fast as Anne's greased up squirrel in last year's squirrel parade. Fast as a new guy's broomstick flying away when his rent is due. Okay, you got this. Fast as bass drop running from his own summoned bear. Fast as dragon's getaway goat that got lit on fire. Fast as have a chop sacks getting chased by that really angry dragon, even if it was just a kobold. Oh, man. Okay, that's fast as Dubward's blink dog chasing the mailman every morning. Fast as St. D loves kicking the kitchen door down when he smells deviled eggs. Fast as Eric Five's enchanted unicycle going uphill. Fast as Heather after her third espresso shot of the afternoon. Whoa. Oh, jeez, those rocks. There's another branch. Okay. Fast as Jesky Fire running from a karaoke stage. She just hates singing so much. Oh my God. Fast as Kaylee left town after finding out she was dating twins pretending to be the same person. Fast as Jonas's lightning-powered wagon on a stormy day. Fast as Judgment Day running up a tab at the finger trap. Oh, yeah, final stretch. Here we go. Come on, hurry. I think I got this. Fast as Lexi's audience left with her drinking at the fire potion during that poetry slam. Fast as Michael hopping across fences after freeing those talking sheep. Fast as Opti running away from that lawyer trying to get her from that haunted inheritance. Fast as Ryan regretted drinking that day old mystery stew. Fast as Winkle escapes from social situations after being asked where she's from. Fast as Bubba solving that puzzle cube. No, seriously, how do you do that fast? So fast. You are so fast. Oh, you're already up here. Come on, Santos, wings are cheating.